Hi, and I will show you now the things from chapter 15. So it's something about the weldment. So you will learn one more other feature. So basically, we will learn how to create a flat weld, convex weld, concave weld, and cosmetic weld. And you will also draw some parts. So we will start to create a simple weldment part this time. So, it will be a little bit different. Weldment, and we will say create. So the first thing we will draw will be just a simple rectangular shape. So we will go, let me see if we go to create components, because this is basically assembly. So inside we can say create, and we will make the first part. That will be the part 1. We can call it weld 1 part. And then inside of that part, I'm clicking anywhere, or you can make that same part outside of this and then insert that as a drawing. So you see, I'm making just one rectangular shape, simple rectangular shape. Dimension of that rectangular shape will be 4 inches by 1 inch. So you see, middle mouse click twice every time you change dimensions, so it can perfectly fit, so you can see everything in your screen. And then 1, and that's it. Finish. So we will middle mouse click twice. We will extrude this to 0 points. So I'm changing what it is default to, like, I'm following whatever it's on in the chapter 15, page 52. So we're extruding this by 0.0625, and we're getting just rectangular plate. I like to switch to view in visual style, shaded with edges. So you see, this is pretty much what we have. So we're now in the weldment. You see, assembly is weldment. So I will just return. So you see, now we're in the different thing. So it's assembly, and you see we have design. We have all these different one, and this one is weldment. So if you left click on assemblies, you will see what options we have over there. It's a little bit different. So we will go now, if we want to, like, we have this part already there. So what we need to do now, they want us to copy this part to have 4 of these parts. So you can either say here, copy, right click, paste. That's one option, you see. Or you can select copy and you click somewhere outside and say paste, and you can move. So you can pretty much make 4 copies. This is Windows-based software. So if I select and I click outside and paste, I can easily have 4 of these weldment, like 4 of these separate parts. They're just 4 boxes basically. So now what I will do, I will go to the constraint, like they say on page 1.4, and what they want to do, they want us to make 2 T-shaped parts as they're shown on figure 9. So basically what they want us to do, they want us to put one of these planes on top of this one, you see, and we have to line, and then that's the first constraint. So I can say apply, and then for another one, I can switch to flush, and I can say I would like this plane here to be looking at me the same way that this plane is looking at me. So, being flushed, that means they're like parallel and they're like 0 offset in between them. And I say apply. So we still need to add one more constraint. You see, I can still move this up and down, so it's still not constrained. So I probably have to be somewhere in the middle. And I can even calculate that if I use inspect tools. I can show you how I can measure, for example. I can measure, and I can say, okay, from here to there, what is my dimension? That would be 1 inch. And then if I want to make another assemble, like if I want to put it in the middle of it, I might say I would like these 2 planes, to look at the same side. You see this one and this one, but I want to have offset. So you see, I can even put here negative offset because I want this to go down. So I can put there, I can even calculate. I can put maybe it's 1 inch, you know, altogether it's 1 inch. It's not going the right way. So let me see. 1 inch. I want this arrow to go different way. So is this my -1? Will it go down? No, it went up. Well, I don't know. Let me check. It all depends. Maybe I will do it in regards to another one. So if I put 1, it goes down. Okay, so if I'm at 0.5, I'm in the middle. But remember, this has thickness. So from below, I'm at half, but is it actually real half of this? I need to go a little bit up by some small tiny value, so I can say minus, plus, and then I go this, whatever the thickness was, and my thickness was 0.0625 or something divided by 2, I think. You know, I can even calculate. Oh, it's plus. Okay, so you see, I want to go the other direction, so I'm changing minus here. Let me see. Is it in the, yeah, now I feel like it's in the middle. But let me read. They gave you the value though, where to position it in the middle, but you know, you can figure it out, what is the size. So you see, I put 0.5 because the whole thing is 1, half of it, and then half of whatever thickness was. Then that, because I said this plane and that plane. I didn't say the middle one. You know, if I had, this is one way, okay, I can cancel this. I don't need to. I can just show you the last one from the beginning. So for example, if you made your weld. So if I go back to the first weld we made, and if we see how did we extrude this? So basically, if I switch my extrusion to symmetrical, that means that my plane will be in the middle, you know, the plane in which I draw this, which was XY plane. So you see, one way is to actually do this. It's way more simple than doing this crazy equation. So you see, if I know that I did my extrude around this plane, you see like this, then if I return and then I have to define this specific constraint, so you see this -1 constraint, which is kind of now in the wrong place. Here I know I can just put this 1 divided by 2 and I'm at the right place because I'm actually constraining this in a way that I'm trying to select my plane that is in between, in the middle of this thing. You see in the edge, it's in the middle and the top one. So it's easy, 1 divided by 2. I don't have to do all this figuring out what is my thickness. So, you know, this is cool to use. Okay. So yeah, I like this. And I have to go back there. Will it work? I don't know why it wasn't. So constrain, and I'm just changing. Yeah, I just need to change this to offset 0.5. And you know, if I actually know what is my dimension, I can show you a really cool thing now. You know, if I go to my first extrusion that I made, and in the sketch, if you see how I actually called this dimension, look, this dimension is called D1. You see, it's D1. It's called D1 in the program. This one is called D0. So that's the first I ever put. This one is specifically D1. I can show you how, you know, in this constraint, and I'm going out back to assembly. So like this, I can actually type here D1 divided by 2. D1 divided by 2. And then if you change that D1 later, what happened here? It didn't get it. So maybe it doesn't work. Most of the dimensions, it will just work perfectly. But I guess here it doesn't like it for some reason. D1 divided by 2. Okay, 0.5. Then it's good. So you see, in this way, I got these two assembled, and we can do the same thing for the second one. So again, my plane on the side, this, I want to go touching that, apply. We want to do flush this other kind on this side. Why is this? What am I doing? Okay, hold on, sorry. No, I want to put, well, they're kind of moving with each other, so it doesn't matter. This one I want on there. Well, it's okay. It's still the same thing. No, it kind of went the wrong way. So let me put this one here. Yeah, apply, and I do this here. And then I'm missing the third one. The third one will be in the same way, that and this plane. And again, that's 0.5, 0.5, or minus 0.5, depending however it takes you. Yeah, it depends how, when we flip them, they might change where's X, Y, Z. So, that's why they can be different. So basically, now we have these two, and like they're assemblies, but we still can move them. We didn't ground any of them. So this one like kind of looks grounded. Let me see. Weld has this mate, has this flush, and this one. Okay, looks good. So let's see what we're doing. In this one, it looks like I can move around. Okay. So they say left click on selected face, assembly them. They're all good. So let me see. So we will now learn how to create a weldment. That's on the page 15.6. So they said move go to the weld. So you see here, there's a separate part for the weld. And we will go there, select welds here, welds. We left click there, then we do fillet. And we will say here, flat weldment. So let's see, fillet weld, contour. This is flat weldment icon. And they want us to switch selected face. So if I flat, I guess, which one is flat? This one. This is, I guess, convex, concave. Okay, so we will first do the flat. That's the one that we can do. So then we will do select face one. This is the face one. And we select this for the face one, and then we will go to the face two. You see here, when it's blue, that means it's selected, and we select the face two. And you see, we can see how we added weldment. And then most likely we will add a different value. This looks a little bit too big, so maybe 1.25. You see that weldment look more like something that will be more reasonable. So the bead width is this 0.125, and you will see the preview of this weldment. You see how it looks like. And then I can show you how to make a convex weldment. So similar to this flat weldment, and we can remove these planes later if you don't want to see them. So again, I'm going to the weld, and I'm going to try to make weld again. So if you go to the same option, I can click exit, return, and then again, I'm going another weld, and I'm going to fillet, and then I can try to do another one. So convex. So basically, we will select first face this one, and we will select second face the other one. And you see the weld will be a little bit different, just a little bit different. Like here we have like triangle, and here we have some kind of circlish shape over there. So, you can see how these two welds look like. And if you use orbit tool of middle mouse click, so shift and middle mouse click will get us move around like this. And then if I go return, so you see we created two welds. If you don't want to see this plane that I shown, that's in the first first thing we did, so it's weld 1, origin, and XY plane. That's how I showed it. So you see, now we see welded, 2 welded parts over there. Let me see if you can see better. So that's simple. It's just similar to the fillet option. So, and then you can make so we did convex. We can also try to do concave. So again, we click on the weld and we click on the fillet, and then we just change to this one, concave. And then what we can do, we can make it on the other side, because here we added this kind of weld. Maybe, I don't know, for some reason we want to put it on the other side. So of course we have to say, okay, surface 1, surface 2, and we might leave the same contour. Surface 2, hold on, cancel. So if I switch from one to another, oh, it's not giving. Do we need to delete it or make another copy? So weld, we need to get out of it and probably create another weld. So we're doing a weld, fillet, and then we're going to contour this one, and then for one we select one plane, and for second one we select the second one. But now it's kind of looking at all of this. Why we have a problem? Maybe we cannot make them like this. Okay, let me see what they say. So concave, now we will create concave weldment. Okay, we did concave. Yes, that's it. So, if you want to make another one, I think you can also go and change. So like if you change your mind, you don't want to do the one you did, you see, if I go return, you can probably go and change that weldment in the part. So basically, if I go to the part, and then I can see how we did these weldment, we can maybe change them. So if I go to the welds, beads, you see it's under beads, fillet weld 2. And what if I change my mind to concave? Will it switch? Or maybe I just do it again, delete, and I go to a weld, and then I want to make the third kind of weld. Maybe it's just different selections. Why? Kind of doesn't like it. It likes more the other option. Okay. So you see, these are the 2 welds we did, concave. So then if you like to create them on both sides, so we can also create a cosmetic weldment. Let's check that out. So if we're in the welds and we want to do cosmetic, this is the cosmetic weld. And then we can click on the T part edge on the other side. Let's see, they're saying, let's flip this around and then click on this edge here. And pretty much we say apply. Okay. So if we return, then it's kind of like cosmetic weld. You see, it's named cosmetic weld. It will show us later what the area of this weld is. So now we can go to weld calculator, and if we click on the field weld calculator for a plane, I must save this assembly. Okay, so I'm saving weld assembly. Yes to all, because I have parts, you see 4 parts in it. So when I went to the weld calculator, and if I turn the field weld calculator plane, you can here do calculate and see what kind of things you have in this, what kind of forces we can do. And when you go to fatigue calculation, you can also see there some other options. So when we hit on calculate, you will see, how the weld will be dimensioned, what are the different loads, how it works, if it's axial force, bending force, common force, acting different places. This is within the center of gravity. This is in the different location. This is if you would have bending moment, how your weld will do. Okay, so that's something that is interesting. And here, when you go to advanced, you might see different options that you might have there. So if we say OK, and it will tell me file naming, I will say OK. It made it. And now if I go back to the existing welds, they're not under features. They're completely separate. You see above all these parts. You see we have basically 4 parts and 2 assemblies, and it kind of put all of these, and we have results of our like something that we did. So first weld, second weld. So you see the bead folders has information about different welds that we did. And if you like to change them, you can always click, left click, or right click edit, and you can go to your feature and, see if you want to edit something. And if you don't like the size, or, if you want to change some of the existing settings, and if you want to delete some of them, it's very simple. Just right click and delete, and it will be gone. So you see, we just select and you can remove. So we delete cosmetic weld, and then you see that's when we go on the weld. So if we want to create another weld, we will again go to the weld fillet. And if we want to do something on the other side, we will click, first one we click here, second one we click there. And then if we put contour the same as on the other side, it will create it, because it looks like it likes to have same contours if we already used it. So, okay, that's one option. And then if we switch to the concave, and under intermittency, if we want to put 0.5 and 1, that's probably telling us, how much space we will have. I would just switch to this. I don't know, for some reason it's not creating the other one. It looks like it doesn't want to accept it. So when you say intermittency, you're saying, okay, leave me a gap in between and, make me a weld and then a gap. So you see, you can change. They can be 0.05, then there's no space, but it looks like you do 0.5 something and then up to 1. So how much you weld and what is the whole sequence. So you see that's how it looks at the end. Okay, apply, and you can play with maybe another, like see if the other one will accept this concave. So if I go first this and then that, it's not making me make it for some reason. Maybe we need to put the value there. I don't know. You see. And so if I go back to edit one of these welds, somehow it doesn't like editing that one. So yeah. So you see right now, and we can maybe add same one like what we have down there. So maybe put, the same one. I don't know, it doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't like intermittency for some reason. This part, maybe it depends how we assemble them, I'm not sure. But right now you could see how we made different welds of, you see, they look like welded materials. And if you want to, you can change different colors and save. So once you're done with this, if you can please And if you want to make copy of this, you would select, so I would do shift, select both of them, copy, paste. So I have a third one, you see, and maybe I can try the third one to make that concave weld. Let's see if it will work there. So like I switch to that one and see, for some reason it doesn't want it. Maybe because size should be different. Maybe something else, you know, try to make it maybe. Something is not working. So you see, and we can easily delete like leftover ones. So for this one, just please, and look, this one, you can see if we return from the weld, you can go to assembly and you can do free rotate and you can just flip. Oh, this is disassembled. Yeah, that's good. So it's all assembled. We can just move this one. So, you know, they're kind of staying together. So for this one, what I want you to do, look, you can even try, you know, coloring, maybe see if you can change. You see now it has weld aluminum. You can even go check some of the material properties. You can go to Weld and see what kind of different things you have there. You know, what are your parameters? And you can also check, you see we have some electromechanical setups, you know, there are different things in annotate, sketch. So you might see different options. Look, welding symbol. Maybe we can put a welding symbol in 3D, put something there. You see that something will be added. So for this, can you please just save it and just export a 3D PDF? This is everything I want you to see. You know that you have another option for weld and you can add some, and you can also do bead reports. Use that calculator. You can open this Excel file and see what you got there. And you see it's like different kinds of welding that you have. So please just export this as a PDF, not 3D PDF, and submit this part with this homework. Thank you for watching.